Hey guys, it is Kid. How are you doing? I hope that you guys, wherever you're at today, are having a fantastic time and that everything's going swell for you. Um, Today is an interesting topic, one we haven't talked about before on this channel, and it's about Call of Duty's future. Now, I bring this up just because I was sitting there the other day, and I'm sure it's crossed a few of your guys' minds about where is Call of Duty going, and what does the future look like? What is Call of Duty going to give us? Because there are times in the past, and we'll talk about this, is how Call of Duty games they come out and it almost takes a while to actually get something new. We feel like we're in a rut sometimes, and then when something new has happened in the past, not everyone is super keen of the change. So that's what we're here to talk about today. But I think before we talk about Call of Duty and its future, I think we should talk about its past and where it started. So we're going to start with Call of Duty number 1. Call of Duty number 1 came out in 2003, October 29th. It was made by Infinity Ward, and it definitely was one of a kind. It was very unique, and it put people in a World War II setting. It allowed them to have a first-person shooter, and it really kind of changed the game with everything. It was fairly basic, though, compared to today's games, which is totally fine. That's what we expect. It came out in 2003, and what we were playing with, what we were doing, but it gave us a great start to what people wanted, and they could see what people wanted more and more. The next game came out October 5th, 2005, and this is Call of Duty number 2. So the mechanics and everything for this game were very similar to its first and very successful Call of Duty number 1. And it was also made by Infinity Ward. Now, what was cool about this, though, is that it kind of gave you a little bit of different feel for things. It allowed you to go and pick up health packs here and there. It kind of changed things up. Allowed you to get a few different weapons, but for the most part, it was the same as the first one because that it was just back then, and I think they were thinking that if it works, why fix it? We just need to continue giving people more of what they want. And I agree. So, but next we move on to November 7th, 2006, which is where Treyarch comes into the picture about making the Call of Duty franchise games. They make Call of Duty number 3, and so we have Call of Duty number 3 made by Treyarch. It was phenomenal. It was again very similar to its first two releases. Just had different graphics, better graphics. It allowed players to get a different feel for things, and instead of having multiple campaigns, it had one campaign with 4 different protagonists, if I am correct. And so it was just different, but it was still the same. Now this is where things get really different. This is where the world of Call of Duty really changes. It's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, for those of you who are familiar with this game was a real game changer because up until this point, every Call of Duty had been thrown back into an older time zone, time, age. What am I looking for? It was thrown back, and so what happens is the Modern Warfare is really, it's in its title, and it presented things in the current situations. It gave people different feels. So the multiplayer really came into play. This is where Call of Duty really opened up a lot of people's eyes as to its possibilities, because especially here, this is where we get all of our famous gaming clans out there, especially for Call of Duty. Just to name a couple, we have like FaZe, we have Optic Gaming, and there's tons more out there. I don't mean to put down any other gaming clans and stuff like that, but this is where, especially Optic Gaming, this is where they first turned into an all-sniping clan because they saw the potential that this game had, and they definitely wanted to get a head start even back on just Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare back in 2007. Crazy. This was made in Infinity Ward. So we move on to World at War. World at War was also a huge game changer and really allowed Call of Duty to see even more possibilities with what it could do. So we sit here, November 11, 2008, made by Treyarch, World at War was, and what Treyarch did is astounding and will forever change the world in general with regards to gaming. They brought out, they went back in time, which is perfectly fine, it's phenomenal. But then they gave us the Zombies mode. Zombies mode, as we know, stuck around ever since this game, but it really gave us a great something different to do. We had multiplayer and we had campaign, which are always games we love to play. But with the zombies mode, that really added to the unlimited amount of time and effort and just fun that we could get from this game. Really paved the way for future Call of Duty. So then we have Modern Warfare 2. On November 10th, it came out in 2009, made by Infinity Ward. And this game was very similar to Modern Warfare 1, with the mechanics and just the way the game looked and felt, very similar. But the difference is that, as you know, more different guns, different maps, and just trying to keep things fresh and giving people more of what they wanted. Like we said earlier, that people truly enjoyed these games. They loved these Call of Duty games. And so what these creators were trying to do, Infinity Ward and Treyarch, they were trying to give people more of what they wanted, which I think is phenomenal because they definitely listening to its customers. So we move on to Black Ops 1, the first installment of the Black Ops gaming series. Phenomenal, made by Treyarch. November 10th, 2010 was its release date. And so I don't want to say that Black Ops 1 was amazing, but there's not much to say for it. It was a different game. It kind of went behind the scenes on things with regards to the campaign. It didn't quite show the front lines, but it showed the things that behind the scenes that happened to get things done in times of war or special missions, things like that. So it definitely provided a different perspective and an interesting gameplay for all of us gamers out there in the world. Now we move on to one of the best Call of Duties out there. This is my personal favorite, definitely top 3, if not my most favorite game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It was released on November 8th, 2011, and it sold 30.71 million copies. That is astounding. That is the highest selling Call of Duty out there. And we'll talk about this more. It was definitely, they're all hard copies, and it was just crazy at how much this game sold. People loved this game. I loved this game. The gameplay was amazing. The maps were amazing. You truly felt it was just such a fun game. I know that I said that quite a few times, but this was the first time we had Sledgehammer Games make a Call of Duty game, and they were teamed up with Infinity Ward, and it was amazing. This is also where survival mode came in, and it kind of came from the idea of the zombies mode. It just people shooting at you instead of zombies, and so it was another addition to the Call of Duty gaming, where you can see how we started with multiplayer, and it opened people's minds. Then we went to zombies, it opened people's eyes and minds, and then we have a survival mode, and they're just continually thinking of more things they can add to the game to make to improve it for everyone and to make it more enjoyable. So after that amazing installment in the Call of Duty franchise, we go to Black Ops 2, which is another fan favorite. I do like this game very much, but I would not say it's my favorite Black Ops game, and I'll tell you why later. But it was made by Treyarch, came out November 13th, 2012. Then we have Ghost that came November 5th, 2013, made by Infinity Ward. So there's not much to say about Ghost. I, for one, did not purchase this Call of Duty for no particular reason. I just never didn't happen. I did play with friends and stuff using their DVD though. I had tons of fun with the game. I do think that sometimes there are a lot of people that don't like it. But I will say one thing, it's the only Call of Duty that I know of that has like aliens in it. It's very futuristic, it's really sci-fi, and it's amazing. Maybe not the only one with aliens in it, but it definitely had the zombies mode with aliens instead. And it has survival mode, all these things, and just made the game different. And I think it proposed ideas to Call of Duty, Infinity Ward's, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, about what else they could do with the game. And I think it allowed gamers to kind of see what else could be done outside of the traditional Modern Warfare or going back to World Wars. So that was definitely an interesting game. Then we go to Advanced Warfare, another one of my favorites. Definitely, I think this will be my second favorite game because I was so excited for this game. I checked out all the trailers. I pre-ordered it. I I don't know, I was just super stoked this game. It came out. It was the first one to have boots off the ground, which did propose more problems. Not problems, but a lot of debate about future Call of Duty games and people wanting boots on the ground, people not wanting jetpacks, things like that. So it was very, very interesting. But then we have Black Ops 3, which came out November 6th, 2015, made by Treyarch. Black Ops 3 was an amazing game. It also had boots off the ground, had jetpacks, and everything. So here's the thing. So when Advanced Warfare was released, people were either super excited or skeptical about jetpacks and the movement of the game and how that would all work. And so by the time people actually, not the entire Call of Duty community, but there were a good amount that did not like the jetpack. So what happened is they gave their feedback. They said, we want boots on the ground. We don't want jetpacks. We don't want that movement in the game. But Black Ops 3 was already in development and pretty close to being completed with regards to the game being created and everything. So when Black Ops 3 came out, fans gave it some flack because it had boots off the ground still. Well, people have to realize that they were already creating the game and it was too late in the game to scrap it all and give it something different. But I think what they tried doing was they tried proposing a new way that people can move in the game versus the Advanced Warfare Exoskeleton. We have the Black Ops 3 jetpack that works a little bit differently. So then we move on to Infinite Warfare. That was an amazing game. Came out November 4th, 2016, made by Infinity Ward. Went to space. I don't know, went to space. That's all I can really say for it. I did not quite enjoy the multiplayer in this one, but there was definitely, the campaign was amazing, tons of fun. And if you guys enjoyed that, please let me know down in the comments down below and what you liked about it. Then we move on to 2017, November 3rd. Sledgehammer Games makes World War II, going back to old school. By this time, we have boots back on the ground, finally giving people what they wanted. And I think a lot of people actually enjoyed that. They liked the switch between we had the 3 games in a row where we were kind of all over the place, jumping all over the place. Boots back on the ground, very interesting. Kind of brought us back to the home plate where Call of Duty started. Then we move on to this year, October 12th, 2018. Treyarch releases the 4th installment of the Black Ops series with, no campaign. My thought on this originally was, man, I really wish there was a campaign. I still do. I think a campaign would be phenomenal. I don't see why they had to take it out at all, but that's just me. But they did give us the first Call of Duty Battle Royale gaming. It's called Blackout. It's phenomenal. Tons of people love this game. I love this game mode. I know that when it first came out, I got my first one in the first few days. I post that in the video if you guys want to check that out. But Black Ops 4 is what we're at right now. So now we're at the present, okay? We want to talk about Call of Duty's future. And before we do, not before we do, we're talking about it now. There are so many things to think about. We think about the survival modes. We have zombies, boots off the ground or in the sky. We have Blackout. Is there going to be Battle Royale mode? Is there going to be campaign mode? What is there going to be? And so while researching for this video, I was trying to figure out if there was anything out there. And right now what we have is leaked or not leaked rumors of a Modern Warfare 4, MW4 Call of Duty made by Infinity Warfare. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I fully support this if that is the game of choice that will be released. Here's what I see happening. Call of Duty is going to go, the franchise will go one of 3 ways. The first way, we're going to continue on with Treyarch just releasing Black Ops 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll continue to see more World War II, World War III, World War IV from Sledgehammers. We may release or see more something Warfare from Infinity Ward. We've done Advanced Warfare, we've done Infinite Warfare. Let's see what else we can get. We might go back with them as well into the past. Second way I see things going is that we switch it up. We stick with this rumor of Infinity Ward creating Modern Warfare 4. They kind of maybe bring us back to our roots. Let's say they bring us back to our roots with regards to similar gameplays as MW3, MW2. We have remastered maps such as Terminal, which would be phenomenal. They give us new gameplay, but they update the game to where people enjoy it now. Then we have Treyarch release another Blackout game mode with a new map. They give us another Amazing Zombies mode. Maybe they'll give us a campaign. Let's say they don't give us a campaign and stick with what they got going. And we just have multiplayer, and it looks very similar to Black Ops 4. And then we have Sledgehammer. Let's say that I think they'll give us something modern. I see that things going like that. I think they'll give us something more up-to-date, more present. And the third option, I just see all of them switching gears with regards to different names, different maps, different everything. Not changing Call of Duty, but changing the way they do things, because instead of us feeling like Treyarch, who I will name again, kind of recycling things, specialists, maps, guns, the feel of things, I think we'll stop seeing them going into the past so much. I think Sledgehammer going back in time like that was a great game, but I think I could see them going in the present time or more into the future. We need to see something up to date. We need to get more gamers involved with Call of Duty. I think one way we do that is by introducing new things that we haven't seen before. I'm expecting a new game mode other than Blackout from either Sledgehammer or from Infinity Ward, or something new to the game modes that we already have. Maybe they have Survival come out, but it has a few different tweaks to it. Quite possibly, I don't know. I don't like moving maps. I don't know. Let's go back to that. Like just something different, something that hasn't been seen already in these 15, 16 Call of Duty installments. And then, those are the three ways I see things going. I see things either staying the same with how they're going, a little bit of movement with regards to how they make things, or I see things completely changing with regards to their games and stuff. And I think it's going to be the second option or the third option. What do I want? I would really like the third option. I would really like things to be switched up entirely. If they switched everything up entirely and we still had Modern Warfare 4 come out in 2019, I'd be perfectly happy with that. Because we have to realize, guys, that they're already as making new games so Black Ops 4 was released, right? Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer are already working on their games that are going to come out 2019, 2020. So we have to realize that their ideas are already out there. So I just see things going like that. But let me know what you guys think down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.